Oh dear. You really know a party is doing badly when the best thing that they can campaign on in their campaign leaflet is saying we're the best party to beat some other party. This is what I got in the mail recently. It's a Tory campaign leaflet for the upcoming Scottish elections. The first thing they say is we're best placed to beat the SNP. Now, of course, this graph you can see is completely stupid because there is no consideration of Reform UK on it. Clearly, there's going to be some sort of split of the vote between Conservatives and Reform UK, and that's ignoring the fact that Labour won all of the constituencies here at the general election in 2024, which is more recent, fun fact, than 2021. So I think we can clearly see that this is just completely misleading, and when you're publishing misleading bar graphs on the front of your campaign material to get people to vote for you without even spreading a positive message, you know you're doing badly. But it gets even worse when we actually get into the content of what they say, because the first page of this just completely focuses on thinking about how can we implement very small amounts of austerity. Feel free to read it, pause it, it's on screen. Because we see that complaints that £5 million of public money is being wasted. Let's be very, very clear. £5 million in the public purse is a very, very small amount of money when the Scottish government's budget is like 60 plus billion pounds. That is just like absolutely minute fraction of a percent. But also, it's about the mentality. We should be thinking on scales far bigger than this on how we can improve services. Even if we save £5 million, there's not going to have a meaningful positive effect on services. And so the focus on this clearly shows that it's not actually about the money, because the money's insignificant. Instead, it's about the mindset of austerity, which I talk about a lot on this channel. It's about the mindset that they're trying to push the idea that we can make stuff better through efficiency. It's lies. You can't make stuff better like this through efficiency in public services, because the truth is, we're pretty good on efficiency in public services already. And when we're not, is very quickly fixed because we have a finite amount of public money and the government needs to be able to spend that money well because there is a significantly high amount of accountability, especially in public finances, of the government. I don't think that campaigning on such a small amount of apparently wasted money, which is very possibly true, is actually going to meaningfully change anything other than pushing people into an austerity mindset, which goes on to justify cuts which have real world implications, which I've talked about plenty on this channel. Now, next we get some more tactical voting messaging. Again, this doesn't show you to be a good party. This doesn't show you to be a good candidate to vote for. Voting tactically might be something that people do, but a party shouldn't campaign on it, because when you show that you are only worth voting for to keep some other person out, then you are not worth voting for, because you have no positive message to send to people. But then what we get is some, well, I think it's probably quite clear, it's probably just transphobia. But even if you don't believe, right, that this is actually intended to be transphobic, do you really think that a serious political candidate, which in the end I don't think this is, should really be spending like a quarter of their campaign leaflet material talking about an issue that doesn't really exist, right? There aren't loads and loads of trans people running around seriously threatening single-sex spaces, right? This is just a fiction. It doesn't exist. So the fact that they spend lots of time talking about this, they're not talking about, I don't know, the cost of living. The fact that we've got a massive energy crisis right now. I don't know, maybe some positive visions for investment, to maybe fight inequality, to fight poverty. So much you could talk about, so much positive stuff you could talk about, and this is the best you can do. Again, not serious politics. And then, of course, we finish with a summary. First thing, it says, tackle antisocial behaviour and keep communities safe. You know what this actually means? It means demonise young people who, when they had all of their services, things like youth clubs, community centres, significantly cut because of local authority funding cuts. These people have nowhere to go, and then they're accused of having antisocial behaviour just because, young people like to hang out. And yeah, they're going to do some drinking or whatever, right? That's an inevitability. I don't think you can fight it like this. Second, improve access to local healthcare and end waste. Again, already talked about this. This is just austerity. This is not actually going to help anyone at all. 3, fix local roads infrastructure with long-term planning. I mean, this one sounds pretty good, except for the fact that the priority on roads is just economically and environmentally stupid when railways and public transport deliver higher efficiency, better speeds, and lower emissions than other forms of transport. This looks like this particular candidate, it's not on this campaign material, but favours the dualling of the A77 between Ayr and Stranraer, when there's a rail line there which we could actually start using. Right now it's used by a couple of diesel trains a day, and we wouldn't have to upgrade that road because we could just put the freight trains instead of having lots and lots of lorries. But are they going for that? No. Why? Because they want to go for cars, because it's part of their image, even though it's a worse policy. 4, raise education standards and protect single-sex spaces. I've already dealt with the single-sex space stuff. And then actually there's nothing else about raise education standards except they're going to improve attainment without actually saying how they're going to do that. Again, it's not particularly serious. The way you improve attainment is, well, you spend more money in education, you get better results from that. It's very, very simple. But they're not doing that because that goes against their ideology. And finally, stand up for local communities and demand accountability. If we read into what this actually says, challenging waste and delay. Okay, waste, again, this is austerity narrative. Delay, I mean, sure. Maybe one positive thing in that, although again, delay can also just be characterised as following due process, making sure we're not like breaking the law or accidentally doing something really stupid. So overall, love to hear what you think in the comments. I'm considering, when I get some more campaign material through the door, maybe going through some what other parties are saying in the run-up to the Scottish election. But hope to see you soon.